Hey there, Brian. Just saw the new trailer. Very cool. The fans were buzzing. Just checking in on the possible Green Ranger / JDF series. I'm wrapping up the Valiant series, which is set to debut next month. With the new trailer having over 2 million views on YouTube, and the Ranger beatdowns having over 25 million views, I think the fans are primed and ready. Jason has an undeniable fan base, and the series could really show off how amazing and legendary he is. Hope all is well. Aaron.
Who the fuck starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
So what you heard there was a kind of funny dramatic reading of Aaron from Bat in the Sun reaching out to someone who works at Saban to pitch the Tommy Oliver solo series or the Green Ranger series that he wanted to do with Jason David Frank. And that screenshot came from JDF sending them to, I guess, fans or maybe someone within the community. I'm not entirely sure. But the Power Rangers Illuminati have struck again, this time dropping screenshots and text messages of JDF in group chats with some people you might know within the Power Rangers sphere. And it's how he was very upset with Aaron for reaching out to Saban wanting to pitch that whole Green Ranger idea without even consulting JDF or even CCing him in the email. He just randomly reached out to someone who works at Saban saying, hey, I think this would be a really cool idea. Let's do it. And yeah, but we're going to read these text messages and where they stemmed from and kind of piece it together with everything going on. And learning about that, it does paint an idea with where this is coming from with Aaron, with how he feels about certain people within the comics industry and within the Power Rangers industry. And I think it all stems from a little bit of jealousy, in my opinion. So we're going to be reading some text messages between Aaron and JDF and a bunch of other people. So if you like this kind of content or you want to see more of it, if I'm able to get more of it, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. The Aaron stuff has been weirdly doing well for some reason. I wasn't expecting it would, but people want to see more of it, and that's kind of surprising. I know I've had my rocky history with Aaron from Bat in the Sun where he threatened to sue me because I made a video talking about him, and then he tried to sweet talk me into cutting a promo on someone else. But let's read these text messages. So here we go. So this is from a text message that he sent to JDF by saying, it's not that we came up with the Green Ranger series, it's that we put the idea in their head to do an older Tommy, to do a Dark Knight story featuring Tommy. And they said they'll give us credit and went back on their word. So I remember watching Power Morphicon and Comic-Con panels and stuff like that with JDF, and for the longest time he wanted to do this Dark Knight PG-13 Green Ranger series, which is something that he wanted to get off the ground for the longest time, because he said that'd be a really cool idea to do. And then with the comics, what we got basically was Soul of the Dragon, which was kind of this, we jokingly called it Old Man Tommy when it was first announced, but the best way looking at Soul of the Dragon now, it's like the best swan song for that character, because it's the last thing that JDF worked on when it came to Power Rangers. That and being the Master Morpher that came out where he did the line reads for that. But that was kind of like the one of the many last things that JDF worked on when it came to Power Rangers. So they then go on to say by saying, what did they say? And went back on their word. It's the principle. Kyle, Boom, and Brian just keep showing what kind of people they are. Now, Aaron is not the biggest fan of Kyle. Me, I love Kyle. Kyle's freaking amazing. Friend of the channel, friend of the show. So, Kyle's awesome. Aaron is not the biggest fan of Kyle, and I can probably guess why. And then Aaron goes on to say by saying, if I send you the story of our Green Ranger story, can you post it to your social, since they say the book is different so that fans can see it all? So this tactic here, where Aaron is telling JDF by saying, hey, you should post our idea that we had together, or my idea that we had together, to your social media, that way we can say our idea was different from Boom Studios. And him doing or suggesting that tactic was something that he would do many, many years later down the line when JDF passed away. And Aaron has this strong fucking history of doing this. Like, he did it with, like, that Rise of the Emerald Dragon thing that we might talk about or might get to cover it. He did it when Amy Jo Johnson announced Mighty Morphin Power Rangers The Return, where immediately he said, oh yeah, you stole this idea from JDF. Did you consult JDF on this idea? You stole it from him. You're a terrible friend, stuff like that. And when he got pushback on it, he tried to double down by saying, oh, I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it like that, guys. It's just, oh, that's totally, like, you'll see the text messages and you can kind of see what kind of guy that Aaron is. That is for sure. But let's read some other stuff. Badum. So this was the text message that I did the dramatic reading for when Aaron reached out to Brian at Saban. So Brian Castellanini, he was one of the producers at Saban during the Neo Saban era, I believe, and worked on a lot of stuff. Like, you can probably see their credentials on IDMB or Internet Movie Database, and they worked on a lot of Power Rangers related stuff. I think all the way up to Beast Morphers maybe. So they've got a lot under their belt. So Aaron reached out to Brian from, I nearly keep wanting to keep saying Boom, but Saban, and wanted to say, hey, let's do this cool idea that me and Jason have been wanting to do, because we can, it will take off. And in the next text message, JDF was not the biggest fan of this move by saying, I'm so fucking mad he does this shit. I told him, don't email Brian. He said, don't email Brian. So annoying. I emailed Brian and told him, don't get back to him. Fuck, he's so desperate, it's annoying. And look, I know that JDF and Aaron were friends, and friends don't always see eye to eye. Friends sometimes get into fights. But Aaron keeps preaching that people took advantage of JDF. People would, like, leech off him, as he would say. And seeing moves like that Aaron was doing, it kind of mimics what he did in the past. So is that him self-reflecting or something else? I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, someone else in the group chat is a mystery by saying, he didn't even ask you if he could do that. He should ask you, especially since he's using your name. So I think next we're going to get to JDF's reply back to him. No? Okay, I guess there's something else. Okay, this is another part of the text message. He asked and told him no, and then, no. He asked and I told him no, and then he did it anyway. He's acting crazy ever since we have done Draken, and that's like crossing the line now. So apparently Aaron was upset that JDF did the Draken thing with Kyle Higgins because I guess Aaron wasn't involved and Aaron probably wanted to direct that. So Aaron probably felt some kind of betrayal that JDF went off and did that with Kyle Higgins. And the Draken thing was amazing. Like, I love going back and revisiting that. I've got that saved on my hard drive. Like, it's an amazing thing to watch. I love using it as B-roll footage and videos. But I think Aaron might have got a teeny bit upset and jealous when JDF went to do that with Kyle. So, mystery person says, it's sad to say he's obviously jealous that Lord Draken is doing so well, and he probably feels that he needs to get credit for it. The thing is, with Draken, and I love Draken, one of my favorite modern Power Ranger characters out there, having an evil counterpart from another universe isn't like an original idea. Like, if you've seen Star Trek, you've seen all kinds of media where there's always evil counterparts from other worlds or other timelines. It's not a foreign concept. It was really cool when Power Rangers did it because Draken was a really amazing character. But it looks like Aaron wanted something, he wanted his hands in the pie, you could say, probably. It's clear that anything you touch is gold and he wants to capitalize on it, whether you allow it or not. That's interesting. And then Kyle is in this group chat and he goes, whoa, whoa. That's the tunnel picture. No, he's saying whoa to something else. I guess whoa to the chat. But then here's JDF in like a little wind tunnel thing. So that's the group chat between Kyle, JDF, and this mystery person who we have no idea who it is. So JDF, I believe, got back to JDF got back to Brian. Okay, so JDF got back to Brian by saying, yeah, I'm a little upset he reached out to you. He doesn't even have a script. So I guess Aaron was just spitballing ideas and he didn't even have a script, which is kind of crazy. I really like the guy a lot, and I want to make a great series, and I want it to be organized. Also, Kyle is on acting as director, and that's what I need. Look, what he has done with me on the digital series, he definitely helped me create the character. So bring the character to life with the digital thing they did with Draken, the little short. Anyway, maybe you should just reach out and say we have not made a decision at this time. Thanks for the inquiry. So even JDF was telling Brian from Saban to leave Aaron on red like I did. That's kind of funny. Or just be like, we're not interested right now, but thanks for reaching out. That's what it sounds like he was trying to do. I will not say anything to them, but I would like to talk to you in regards of the book. So this being Soul of the Dragon. Talk to you later. Just got back from filming in China, and now I'm in Holland. Lol. Today, from now, I'll be in Dubai promoting you guys and, of course, Shattered Grid. I'm showing that in my Q&A. Okay, so JDF was going to show the movie in the Q&A. We have a total combination of 8 to 9 million views around the world, and it's going pretty viral. Thanks to your support in this awesome project, and I am looking forward to doing more. That's JDF reaching out to Brian. So here's Brian replying to JDF by saying, yes, it was surprising to receive that without him even CCing you in an email, and I will let you handle. Okay. Yep. Okay. And then Brian goes on to say, I think we have to give Kyle the first opportunity to direct and produce a digital series starring you based on the graphic novel he is writing. Okay, so that sounds like they were probably going to do something with Soul of the Dragon. That's kind of a shame that never fell through, that we never got like a little promotional digital thing with Soul of the Dragon. That would have been really cool. That would have been sick. That would have been awesome. We could have got something with Soul of the Dragon like they did with Shattered Grid. Oh well. That sucks that we never got anything like that. Especially given the great response to the Shattered Grid teaser he directed. Kyle essentially proved he could do what he told us both he could. Kyle essentially proved he could do what he told us both he could. Yep, so that's true. That's very true. If Kyle is not available at the time, we can explore Aaron directing and producing the digital series, but I think it still would have to be based on the graphic novel. Does that make sense? Or does this make sense? Okay, so it sounds like that they were looking at doing more little digital shorts with what Boom Studios was doing, but they wanted to make these little promo videos as things were coming out. So like make little shorts here and there when Boom Studios would be dropping something that would be sort of like a Tommy project or JDF would be able to get involved with. And that makes sense. That I get that. So I understand that. So it sounds like they might have wanted to try doing something there. You're the one who would star in the series, so we need to be on the same page. Let me know. Oh, if they turn that into a web miniseries, that'd be pretty freaking awesome as well. That's a shame we never got any of that. Okay. And then Brian also replies back to JDF by saying, by the way, we shouldn't tell Aaron any of this. We don't want him leaking the graphic novel info. If you think it's best for me to respond to him directly, let me know and let's decide the best message to relay to him. Damn, they were like, how do we let him down? Do we let him down nice and easy? How do we let him down like this if we're going to bring him on board or not? That's freaking crazy. It's like, how are we going to break the news to little Jimmy? Ooh, all right then. And then this is another little chat with JDF, Mystery Person, and Kyle Higgins. So this was Aaron's idea that he does not shut the fuck up about, that apparently that Boom stole from him or Saban stole from him. But looking at it here, did he actually pitch this to Saban or Boom in the end? And this is what Aaron was apparently trying to pitch. An older Tommy Oliver returns, where he must travel into the Morphin Grid to retrieve new powers to battle a mysterious villain who has killed and collected the fallen Ranger's powers and assemble them to rule the world. Who is this mysterious Dragon Ranger? The face under the helmet will surprise you. So that sounds like another knockoff Draken idea, I guess. But the thing is, with Draken, according to some interviews with Kyle Higgins, like, Draken was just meant to be like a variant of the White Ranger, but then they decided to make something more original, so that way they can market it as a brand new character or something like that, like a new character IP, by having a brand new suit, and it wouldn't be leaning on the Super Sentai, if I remember correctly. So I think Draken, like, I could be quoting this wrong. I don't know where I can't remember where I heard this from, but I think originally Draken was meant to be like an evil White Ranger. But then, like, Saban, I guess, maybe suggest the Boom or Kyle or someone like that, but saying, like, make it, like, original, so that way it's not tied to, like, Toei, and we can do our own thing with it, and make it our IP, our original Ranger, so that we can market and merchandise it, if that makes any sense. So, scroll down, and JDF is like, I just can't deal with these texts anymore. Ugh. So I guess Aaron was probably pitching like a lot of ideas to JDF by going, what if we do this? What if we do that? Let's mention Saban and Boom about this and that. So it sounds like Aaron was trying to do a lot of that. And then you scroll down and Kyle's in the group chat again. And he says, well, he's going to be pissed when he reads Shattered Grid tomorrow. I already did that. Lord Draken starts taking other Rangers' powers. And someone replies, haha. So, yeah, that's pretty much the group chat or the group messages that we've got here. And this is like fascinating within itself because I've got this thing, I don't know if I was going to talk about it, but this is from Listen Anywhere Row, where they'll sort of post these like unused Power Ranger ideas or actors that never came to fruition. And here's all the stuff that Aaron apparently pitched, or Aaron and JDF apparently pitched. But I think with this text message here, I think this was an idea that Aaron pitched the JDF. It never left the cutting room floor. I doubt he might have maybe sent it to Boom or Hasbro. But it sounds like it was, or Boom or Saban, because it was back in the day. But I get the feeling this was like ideas he was trying to pitch the JDF. And then when there was something similar, like what Amy Jo Johnson did, he'd cry foul and be like, that was my idea, that was our idea, it never took off, they rejected it, or something like that. I think this was just ideas that he wanted to pitch, that he would pitch the JDF in private, that never came to be, in my opinion. But yeah, those are the weird ideas that Aaron has pitched to Boom and Hasbro, I suppose, but it's what it is. I mean, this one's the most controversial because that's when he attacked Amy Jo Johnson when her book was announced and tried to walk it back very terribly. So there's that. But anyway, guys, what do you think of all those messages that we went over? Do you have any interesting opinions? Do you have any controversial opinions or something like that? I'd love to hear them in the comment section down below. And Aaron, if you're watching, hello. Thanks for watching, Aaron. I need the watch time and I need the views. Much appreciated. So I'll see you guys in the next video, whenever that will be. So peace out, take care, and bye.